Hello, my friends. Welcome to another episode of Thinking Differently with Kathy Rhodes. I'm excited today because I'm bringing John Rhodes on with us. We have had an interesting adventure over the last few months. Back in October, we were getting up. It was an October morning. We were getting up very early because I had to leave town quite early that day. And like normal, my husband went to the front door to let our two golden retrievers out the front door. And they're a little rambunctious at 4 in the morning. They want to go outside to go to the bathroom, and right after is food time. So they're very excited, and they're large golden retrievers, and they kind of push their way through to get outside. Well, right next to our front door are the basement stairs. And John was trying to open the door as the dogs came through. He took a step to the side to let the dogs out, and he went down the stairs. At 4 in the morning, I heard 14 times my husband hitting the wooden stairs. Not how you really want to wake up in the morning. Well, the dogs never made it outside. They were right on top of him at the very bottom of in the basement. And I came running down, had to get them away because it's a close encounter. You know, it's close quarters down there. So I got them outside. I come back down. My husband's in extreme pain. And I don't have my phone anywhere near me. How am I going to call for help without my phone? So I told him that. I'm like, don't move. I'm going to go upstairs, grab my phone. And he says, no, you're not. We're not calling an ambulance. I'm fine. And he stands up and he goes over to the carpet and lays on his belly. He says, my back is out. Please, just crack my back for me. Well, first of all, I can never crack his back. It just doesn't work. Second of all, I'm trying really hard to think logically. Like, he just fell. We don't know what's wrong. First of all, don't move him. Oh, oops, he just moved. Second of all, don't crack his back. Well, needless to say, I didn't go anywhere that day. I did not travel that day. And by the time he realized, about a half hour later, he finally walked into the vehicle, and I was able to take him to the ER. And really, quite a surprise to both of us, he broke his neck that morning. The C7 vertebrae, it's the last neck vertebrae before the spine, he broke it. Did you know that's possible? We were quite shocked. I mean, he was in so much pain, it was no kidding, he did something. Thank God I didn't crack his back. Can you imagine? Well, let's just say that brought him to a screeching halt in life. He's a man who works out. He goes to the gym. He runs. He lifts weights. He's active. He's outside. He's doing things all the time. And now he can't. First of all, he was in so much pain for 10 days. He definitely couldn't. But now the doctor was saying, no, we're talking a few months. You're going to be in a neck brace. You're going to not work out because every time you lift any kind of weight, you're straining your neck. And we're going to take this slow. Yeah. Well, John doesn't do slow very well. And this whole process has been quite a life lesson because our message is that we need to slow down to speed up. We need to slow down in things if we want to be more productive, if we want to be more successful, if we want to think clearly, if we want to recover from neck injuries. We have to slow down. Even when the doctor allows him to start to get back in shape and start to recover, it's a slow process, and it has to be. To do it right and to not re-injure yourself or make anything worse, we have to slow down the process. So I'm going to invite John to share his side of the story. We're going to have an interview type of conversation to really get in his head, and you're going to be able to follow his journey because he hasn't even really started his physical therapy yet. So follow us on this journey and see how this works. Welcome. Thanks for joining me, John.
As she was telling the story, I was sitting off stage. I was cringing. I was having PTSD because you were explaining how 14 steps going down, and I was living that moment as you were explaining it. And
me too.
To the point where, have you ever had like that thought and you just kind of cringe or you visually go, that's what I was doing, and oh my gosh. And so, yeah, there's one bad step put me into this, which I still have to wear a lot to bed. This collar, believe it or not, Sometimes feels good putting it back on, but it feels good taking it off. So this is the collar that I'm still wearing. So yeah, the journey.
Okay, so you heard me sharing the journey or sharing the experience from my point of view. What was yours? Like, thank God you are alive and well. We can talk about this. What was going on? What do you remember? What were you thinking?
This is hard to even go back through and re-experience.
Because it's only, gosh, it's not even 3 months old.
No, and I don't know if I'll ever get over it, but I can remember the whole time like I was in a confusion state, like what's going on? Because it happened so fast. It was hard to believe it was happening. There was nothing I can do. The steps goes like 7 steps, landing, wall, and then 7 steps, 90 degrees.
Oh yeah, you did put your knee through the wall, which catapulted him down the next 7
I
steps.
figured if there's 14 steps, I want to hit all 14 steps. I'm not going to do some half.
I am so thankful that we can kind of joke about this and laugh about this. This is so serious. This isn't funny, but I'm so glad that you're recovering and you're okay.
Well, I'm recovering. We're getting better and better. And, here's the cliches that you hear all the time. We're better than we were yesterday. I don't know. I'm being really transparent. I don't know if I'm going to recover fully. To this day, my fingers are still numb because the nerve was pinched in my fall. And so I'm still numb in my fingers, my neck. I need to get movement back and strength, but I'm feeling good. My neck isn't sore anymore.
So tell us real quick the level of pain that you immediately felt.
When you hurt your arm, a lot of times if you don't move your arm, you're fine. Just don't move your arm.
Mm-hmm.
When you're talking your neck or your back, when you breathe, it hurts. When you sit, when you lay, you can't get comfortable. For about a month, I've had to have my wife help me out of bed. I couldn't sit up on my own. She had to come over and hold my arms. And now, I know she was talking about I'm a person who's active and fit and I work out. Think about that mindset. Think about that psyche of not only are you injured, but you're broken. Now, there's a difference there. You're injured, but you're broken. To a certain extent, I still kind of feel like I'm kind of broken. I'm not back to where I was. There's things I still can't do. And I don't want to entertain the fact that I'll never be able to. I'm a pretty optimistic person, but that broken part, the injury, yeah, it was incredible. I'm probably a 9 or a 10 on the scale, right? They always ask you, rate your pain. It was really sore because there was no way of sitting without hurting. I couldn't lay down. And then when I laid down, I had to get back up, but I couldn't get up on my own. And then I wanted to sit on a chair, but that didn't feel comfortable. And then they gave me medication. But the medication,
Touch it.
I'm a pretty big dude, and they gave me like 5 milligrams of this or that, and you can only take, hey, did you know you can only take 4,000 milligrams of Tylenol in 24 hours?
Okay, here's a quick little funny. I'm trying really hard to be Nurse Kathy. I'm not a nurse.
You did great, though.
And in the ER, I'm writing things down. I'm trying to remember, and I know exactly what he should have when he should have it. So there was Tylenol, there was ibuprofen, and then there was some other prescribed medicines. And yeah, you can only have so much in a day. And the ibuprofen was, he can have 600 milligrams every 4 hours. So I looked at the bottle and said 500. I'm like, okay, he can have one every 4 hours. Now, ibuprofen, and here, learning lesson, ibuprofen will reduce inflammation.
I didn't know that.
That's really important, and that's a big difference between ibuprofen and Tylenol. So, okay, ibuprofen is really important for him to have, right? Well, a few days after, my parents came to visit. My mom is a nurse, so she's reading everything, right? She gets it. She loves all this stuff. And she's like, okay, so how many ibuprofens do you take? And he says, 1. She says, 1. I said, yeah, because he can only have 600 milligrams, and these are 500. So I give him 1 every 4 hours. She's like, wow, I've never I've never seen ibuprofen in 500 milligram tablets.
They're not.
So she grabbed the bottle and said, Kathy, where do you see 500 milligrams? And I'm like, right there in the front, it says 500. 500 tablets in the bottle. I was underdosing him. These are each 200 milligrams. He should have been having 3. I was like, not even serving you the best way.
And I hate taking pills. I hate putting anything into my body. And so this was, but it got to the point where it was just about survival. Mm-hmm. I never realized how big of a fan I am at extra strength Tylenol because it was the only thing. The pain medication didn't even help. It was the only thing that took the edge off. And I was supposed to only do it every, 6 hours, I think it was. Mm-hmm. And it worked for about 2.5 hours. Mm-hmm. And then the pain came back. And so we were literally looking at the medication list on what can I take just to survive. Terrible.
We totally had to slow down. I got the notebook out and a pen, and we wrote down everything he took at exactly what time. Because let me tell you, at 2 a.m, when he wakes you up and says, I need something now, I need to go back to the notes. And it got to a point where I wasn't even calculating well at 2 a.m. So before we went to bed, I would write myself a note. This is when he can have this, or this.
Yeah.
So that I didn't have to think. I mean, talk about slowing down. We came to a screeching halt.
All right. So let me put it a little bit into perspectives that I'm used to, okay? Anyone who's watching who's had a child knows what pain is probably like, right?
Any woman.
Any woman. Okay. Any woman. Yeah, right. I guess you gotta, right. Never mind. So if you had a child, you know what pain is. It could have been worse, and it's a bit dramatic. Breaking your neck is so cool to say. I was talking to my son one time, and I'm just like, hey, Jordan, I broke my neck, man, because you're
alive.
I thought automatically when you break your neck, you die. And so when they said that you break your neck, I was just like, really? You can do that? So it sounds, I said it then and I'll say it now, it sounds a lot worse than what it really is. Yes, the pain was certainly there. But I'm fine. I mean, I can do a lot of things, but there's still things that I cannot do. And that's the purpose of kind of why we're meeting, slow down to be more productive. And so, yeah.
So you have not been cleared by the doctor yet to truly go through physical therapy.
Correct.
And start to strengthen your body with weights and exercises. That, in about a week, we go to the doctor again and we'll get some guidance there. So talk about the last 2.5 months. What exactly have you had to slow down in?
Life. And again, I don't want to come across dramatic, but I like being busy. I like putzing around. I don't want grass growing under my feet, so I'm constantly moving. But now, when we were in the emergency room, the doctor was saying, stop moving. You could paralyze yourself. That would like stop airplanes in the middle of the sky when you hear that word, right? I was this close to being paralyzed. Now that's the reality check. So it's no longer, ooh, my arm kind of hurts a little bit. We're messing with our spinal cord and nerve endings. And who knew that your hands, nerves that go through your shoulder blades. Right?
Okay, this was really cool. In the ER, they're quickly asking questions, diagnosing, and he said, I don't have feelings in my thumb and my 2 fingers. And the doctors are so smart. They already knew we've got a problem, probably in C6, C7, because these fingers are connected to C6 or C7.
And it goes around your back, in your shoulder, and down your arm. So it pinched in my right shoulder blade. I know that it goes through there. And it affected my 3 fingers. So
because of the break was causing a swelling, which was, pushing on your nerve that's connected to these fingers. And the fact that he doesn't have feeling yet is still a tell sign that he's not fully healed. Now,
am I?
or will he ever be fully healed? Is there always going to be this? We don't know. But think about when you break a bone. When I broke an arm when I was younger, I was in a cast for 6 weeks. So, you're going to be laid up for a while, because this is a bone. Even though it's a really, really, really thin, small bone, it's still a bone that has to be healed.
And because of the revelation of where it happened and the things that are around the bone, you talk about being a little bit more careful on ice, or when it snows,
Or when you're going downstairs.
or when to this. So we put up a gate now, at least for a separator of where our landing is and where the steps begin, just so it's a point of reference, right? But to this point, I still watch. I know this sounds so silly. I watch every step while I have my hand on the rail because I don't take it for granted. And the first several times down those steps after the accident, it really messed with me a little bit, right? Because I mean, this was it was violent in that. Also, what Kathy didn't say is that I'm a bit of a drama king. She reminds me of that about 5 times a day. I was yelling and screaming down each step. She didn't just hear my body hitting. I was yelling, and it was traumatic. It was definitely a violent accident. But knowing what's at stake has forced me. It's not anymore, do I want to slow down? It's I have to slow down, and that's 2 entirely different categories there.
So you have had to slow down. Have you found any benefits or any hidden surprises that really has enlightened you to embrace this a little bit?
I'm sure there are. Again, I'm counting the moments, the opportunities to get back and doing everything, because I'm focused on what I can't do more than what I'm able to do today. Again, knowing it's a risk that's top of mind to me. If you fall, then this could happen. So that makes me slow down, right? And I know the value of slowing down, but it's also challenging me that what can I do? And that's what Kathy and I are always asking each other. It's not what we can't do, but what can we do? And it's just a more of an optimistic mindset. And I believe in manifestation. I believe in the law of attraction. I believe that your mind can control a lot of stuff. I don't want to give you too much too soon because I'll scare you away with my mindset. But I believe that our minds can control our bodies. So I really want to be optimistic, and I visualize the muscles and the tendons getting together, and I'm healthy. I'm not broken anymore, even though I am. In my mind, I don't want to be. So it's really challenged me a lot on the mental perspective. Probably as much, if not more, than the physical perspective,
sure.
which is what our bodies are the physical.
The physical is almost easy.
Yeah, it's again knowing if you mess this up, you may not be able to do some stuff. And
Right.
so knowing that maybe the fear factor of it is really forcing me to kind of slow down.
A week or 2 after the accident, there was a message at church, and our preacher talking about how, don't be too quick to label things in your life. Go through the journey and label it later. And that's what I feel like is we're still going through the journey. You're still going through the journey. You're still recuperating. You're still getting stronger. You may not be able to label all of the benefits of slowing down quite yet because you're not through the journey. If anything, maybe you really fully haven't even started your therapy type of journey.
Yeah, both the physical and the mental therapy. Excuse me. But in this, okay, what's the silver lining? In this, I've become a student again of my body. When I first started running marathons, I was an athlete my whole life. I finally learned how to run a marathon. I had no idea.
You didn't know that there was like a strategy to run,
No,
right?
it's just you get out and you run one step in front of the other. But no, there's a strategy. So I had to learn how to run. I'm learning about muscles in my body again that I had no idea. I took it for granted, or maybe at one time I knew and I just forgot it. But I'm learning that recovery is an incredibly important part of our body. Now, we're bringing this leadership and human philosophy of slowing down to be more productive into a physical mindset. But what I'm learning is that when you've been at a certain place and you lose it all, because my muscle mass has kind of really dropped and I really don't have much anymore in certain areas, the ability to get back to where you were is sped up. You don't have to work as hard if you were there at one time.
Because of muscle memory.
Because of muscle memory, yes.
Our muscles have memories just like our brains. So you're literally not starting at square one, even though you've lost all your muscle.
Correct. Okay. Now, here's the slowing down to speed up type of thing I'm talking about, is that I'm feeling really good, right? And I even though initially I can only lift like maybe 10 pounds, I can lift little weight, right? So just yesterday, I got on the bench and I did just the bar, and I wanted to see what that would feel like. And I did it really slow. I didn't do much weight. It wasn't about resistance. It was just about the range of motion that I wanted to do. And so many times we want to dive headfirst into things.
Well, you used to lift how many pounds?
A lot. But I mean, depends on who.
Tell me, because you said the bar is 45 pounds,
Right.
but you used to lift how much?
I could put a plate 45 on both sides. The bar's 35, so you do the math. But,
I don't know,
and you could do
150
it,
pounds. So you're
you could do it
much less.
12, 13, 14 times. But yeah, I don't have anything on. It's just the bar.
Okay.
So speeding up to slow down means that if we dove in head first and I put some weights on, I can't say that I would have been able to do it, but say I put on 25s or something, or 10s, and I really kind of pushed myself a little bit. How would I feel today?
Sore.
Oh, the recovery, I would have overworked my recovery. Does that make sense? If you guys ever done something and the next day you were so sore you can't move, what happens? You stay on the couch.
You don't go back to the gym for like a week.
Right. Even though you wanted to really exert yourself, you did yourself damage. You really kind of put yourself behind versus going slower and just doing the bar a few times.
And go every day to the gym.
And I am a little sore from certain things that I did yesterday, but I did it really light and I didn't max anything out. I didn't do it too many times. I just did little things to make sure that, all right, I was comfortable with that. I'm still a little sore, but I still got to the gym today. I'm still going tomorrow. It's not overworking myself. So in this whole story is, yeah, I could have probably made advancements much faster. I could have hurt myself. I could have been much more sore. I could have put myself weeks behind where I am. And it's so counterintuitive that I want to be there. I want to be back to my old self, but I can't. I got to go slower. I've got to force myself to be okay not being that person right now. That is so hard. It is so hard.
So I want to clarify, because earlier when you were explaining, you said speeding up to slow down. It's actually slowing down to speed up.
Did I say that?
You did, and I don't want anybody to capture that and go, maybe I should go faster. No.
What the heck are they talking about? Sorry.
No. We need to slow down sometimes. Actually, a lot of times in life, we need to slow down if we want to speed up in recovery, speed up in productivity, speed up in our success. We need to slow down and take a breath, give our brain thinking time, give our body recovery time. That's going to help us speed up in the direction we really want to go.
And the great thing about what you're talking about is it's true in a physical sense with our bodies. Mm-hmm. But man, is it true mentally as well. It's true emotionally. It's okay, don't get caught up in the moment. Take a deep breath. What's truth?
Yes.
Is the story that I'm telling myself real? It's all those things. It is truly a holistic perspective on how to really deal with situations, to be healthy in all those areas. Mentally, oh my goodness, we could make this
We'll do more episodes.
a lot of hours,
We'll
but
do more
this is so
episodes.
good. It's so good.
So as of right now, we're a week and a half away from him seeing the doctor again. You are allowed to come out of your brace for a few hours a day.
Yes.
What are you up to, like 6 or 8 hours a day
About
now?
8 hours a day.
And when you first released the brace, you could tell you had a lot of, or lack of muscle in your neck. So there's strength.
It's still tight. You're still turning the head kind of slower or really rotating your body to look off to the side, not your neck. So it's trusting too. It's
Trusting the doctor.
It's got to trust.
Okay, my friends, welcome to this journey. that we're gonna share with you on what he's doing to slow down and how it is really helping him speed up. So thanks for joining us today. Hopefully we're challenging you to think differently, and I challenge you to just slow down a little bit today. You'll be safer. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
I hope this topic has challenged you to think differently as you strive to grow from success to world class. Please follow this podcast, share it with your friends, and follow me and Unity Consulting on all social platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, and our website, unityconsultingllc.com. I look forward to connecting with you next time to challenge your habits so that you are more efficient and fully empowered.